Okay, so I really need to know if I messed up here. I mean, because my entire family is acting like I'm the villain of the century, so yeah. My brother stood in front of the entire boardroom, his face turning from smug to ghost white. He was about to present the slideshow I made for him, and he had no idea he was about to professionally incinerate himself. But let's back up. So, for 8 years, I worked at this mid-sized marketing firm, and I wasn't just a good employee. No, I was a great one. I started at the bottom, worked my way up, and for the last 2 years, I was the senior project manager, basically second in command to the director of our department. That director, he was retiring, and it was pretty much an open secret that I was his successor. He mentored me, he championed me, he literally told me the job was mine to lose. I put in the hours, I landed the biggest clients, and I basically did half the director's job for him already. My brother, we'll just call him Leo, he worked at the same company. He started maybe 3 years after I did, but in a totally different department. And he was fine, not a rock star, not a slacker, just a guy who did the bare minimum and was really, really good at schmoozing with the higher-ups during coffee breaks. We weren't close, but, we were civil. So when the director position officially opened up, I applied. Obviously, my boss encouraged me. I was a shoo-in. And then, at the last minute, my brother applied too. I honestly thought it was a joke. I mean, he didn't have the experience or the client relationships or any knowledge of our department. But he was charming. He knew how to talk a big game. And, well, he got the promotion. Not me. My brother became my new boss. I was gutted, just absolutely gutted. When I asked the owner of the company for feedback, he just gave me some corporate nonsense about fresh perspectives. I knew what it really was. Leo had just schmoozed his way to the top. And my parents? Oh, they were thrilled. They called me, just bubbling with excitement for him. When I tried to explain how hurt and betrayed I felt, my mom hit me with the classic line, "Don't be jealous. You should be happy for him. You two need to support each other." Support him? It was my job. What would you even do in that situation? Seriously. The next few months were actual hell. Leo was completely in over his head. He didn't understand our projects, he'd make promises to clients we couldn't keep, and he'd delegate all of his actual work to me, and then take the credit. If I did something great, it was his team's success. If he messed up, he'd find a way to make it my fault. Every single night, I'd get these calls from my parents. "How's Leo doing? Are you helping him? He said you seemed a little hostile in the team meeting. You need to be the bigger person." I swear, I felt like I was losing my mind. The resentment was just eating me alive. So I started looking for another job. Quietly. I had a few interviews, but I hadn't found the right fit yet. I decided to just keep my head down, do my work, and, wait for my moment to escape. And then, the moment came. But it wasn't an escape, no. It was a glorious, beautiful, malicious opportunity. Our company was trying to land this massive new client, a total game changer. It would be the biggest account in our firm's history. The final presentation was in 2 weeks, and my brother, Leo, as the new director, was set to lead it. The Friday before the presentation, at 5:55 p.m., he strolls over to my desk. He drops this huge pile of disorganized files and data on it. He's not even making eye contact. He just says, "Hey, I need you to pull all this together into a presentation deck for the big meeting. You're the data wizard. Just make it look good. You know what to do. Have it ready for me by Wednesday morning." He gave me zero strategy, no narrative, no key takeaways he wanted to highlight, just a mountain of raw data. And a lot of that data, was not good. It had recent client complaints, missed deadlines, budget overages, all of which had happened under his disastrous leadership. Normally, I would have cleaned it up, I would have found the positive spin, I would have worked all weekend to make him look good. That's what they all expected me to do, right? Be the bigger person, support my brother. But as I sat there just staring at that pile of his own making, this beautiful, terrible idea just bloomed in my mind. He said, "Just make it look good." And to me, a good-looking presentation is one that is clear, accurate,
and brutally honest. So that's exactly what I did. I spent the next few days building the most aesthetically pleasing, well-designed, and data-driven presentation you have ever seen. The graphs were clean, the charts were easy to read, and every single one of them told a story. A story of how our department's efficiency had dropped 30% in the last 6 months. A story of how client satisfaction scores had plummeted. A story backed by direct quotes from his own emails and a timeline of the strategic mistakes he had made. I just visualized the data he gave me. I didn't lie, not once. I even put a section in the appendix citing all my sources, just like a good employee would. Wednesday morning, I sent him the file. "Here's that deck you asked for," my email said. He just replied, "Thanks," without even opening it. He trusted that I had done what I always did, cover for him. Then, the day of the presentation arrives. The big client is there. The owner of our company is there. My brother, Leo, walks to the front of the room, looking so smug and confident. He plugs in his laptop, and my beautiful, terrible creation flashes onto the big screen. The title slide was simple: Q3 Department Performance and New Client Synergy. He clicks to the second slide, and it's a graph showing a steep downward trend in project completion rates. His smile just tightens. He mumbles something about data recalibration and quickly clicks to the next one. The third slide is a word cloud of recent client feedback. The biggest words: disappointed, confused, and late. You could feel the air just get sucked out of the room. The clients are whispering to each other. The owner is just staring, his jaw clenched. My brother starts sweating. He's flipping through the slides faster and faster now, and each one is a fresh new hell. A chart on budget overages, a timeline of missed deliverables. It was a masterclass in failure, beautifully rendered in our company's official font. He gets to a slide with a direct quote on it. The quote is from a client complaining about a promise that he, my brother, made without approval. He freezes. He looks at me from across the table, his eyes just full of panic and rage. He finally stammers, This data is out of context. My project manager," and he points right at me, "put this together incorrectly." The main client, this sharp woman in her 50s, she looks over at me. I just kept my expression completely calm. I said, "I built the presentation from the raw performance data and internal communications I was provided. Everything is sourced and cited in the appendix if you'd like to review." Checkmate. My brother just stood there in total silence as his career imploded. The meeting ended a few excruciating minutes later. We did not get the client. The aftermath was, well, it was exactly what you'd expect. The owner called me into his office. My brother was there, just shouting how I sabotaged him. I calmly explained, again, that I presented the exact data he gave me, and his failure to even review his own presentation wasn't my fault. He was demoted that afternoon, and I finally gave my 2 weeks' notice. But here's the twist. The very next day, I got an email. It was from the lead client, the woman from the meeting. She said she was incredibly impressed by my brutal honesty and data integrity. She said her company was looking for a new director of strategy, and she thought I would be a perfect fit. The salary? Double what my brother was making. I accepted the job on the spot. My parents, of course, are furious. They said I was cruel, that I intentionally ruined my brother's life and tore the family apart. They haven't spoken to me since. And Leo, well, he sends me hateful texts every now and then. I'm now in a job I absolutely love, making more money than I ever dreamed of, and I'm respected for my skills. But to get here, I had to professionally detonate my own brother. So, was I wrong? Tell me what you'd do.